Yo, what is going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be giving you guys a much more positive video than I did yesterday. Yesterday I was kind of ranting a little bit about the whole Warzone event and how I really didn't enjoy it all that much. And also the map changes and such were a good addition. It just wasn't what I was hoping for. But today I want to talk about the multiplayer side of the Season 3 update. We're not going to be talking about zombies because there really wasn't anything added to zombies other than a brand new field upgrade and of course the weapons and a new map for Outbreak. And honestly, I didn't really care about much of it. I enjoyed using the PPSh in zombies and that was fun and all, but it's not really giving me much more replay value to the mode as of right now. So we'll talk more about zombies in the future, but today I want to solely focus on Cold War multiplayer and the updates that this game brought with Season 3. And I do think the updates were overall good because of what the content was that we were getting. It's still not a ton of content, still not nearly as much content as I would like to have in these updates, but it's definitely a step up from Season 2, and the quality of it is also pretty damn good in its own way. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the brand new maps. We of course have two brand new maps. Two more maps are coming later in the pipeline, one of them being Duga for Fireteam and the other one being Standoff, which is very exciting. But in terms of what we're getting just yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago now, because I'm uploading this video a day after when I'm actually recording it, but I really did enjoy the new maps here. Now we have Yamantau. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's just how I'm going to pronounce it for the rest of this video, so just deal with that. And we also have Diesel. Now, Diesel is for gunfight, face-off, and 6v6, whereas Yamantau is just for 6v6. Let's talk about Yamantau first. So Yamantau is, of course, this map in the Snowy Mountains. Has similar vibes to Summit from Black Ops 1, but it's definitely not the same as Summit in how it plays at all, really. It just has a similar look and kind of a similar design in some ways, but it's still significantly different. It's completely its own map. I saw some people thinking before the map came out, they thought, oh, maybe it's a Summit remake, but trust me, it ain't that. So the map itself, though, I think is good. It's not great, though. It's not one of the better maps in the game, but it's certainly not a bad map, not even close to being a bad map. And that's the thing about Cold War's multiplayer. Overall, even just Treyarch's design as a whole, I think Treyarch is the safest when it comes to map design, and it's pretty clear that this is the case. Infinity Ward likes to go a little bit above and beyond, except for Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare is like the exception all the time when talking about anything about Treyarch versus Infinity Ward. For some reason, Infinity Ward went much more into a Treyarch route when it came to the entirety of Infinite Warfare for the most part. So whenever I talk about Infinity Ward versus Treyarch, I'm really not talking about Infinite Warfare at all. Just exclude that from it. That's basically a Treyarch game at that point in terms of how it's designed. But the way that they design their maps, you can tell they're very different. Treyarch doesn't take as many risks. Infinity Ward likes to take risks. I do like when studios take risks, but the only issue is the risk has to actually succeed in the end, or at least I hope that they have something to fall back on if it doesn't work. Modern Warfare 2019 took a lot of risks with their map design, a lot of risks, because there were some wonky designs, especially for the launch maps. And for me personally, it didn't really work out. I didn't really like a lot of the maps. Cold War takes it much safer. It's got much more of a Black Ops 2, even Black Ops 1 style map design for most of the maps in the game. Black Ops 4 kind of went the same way. Yes, they're not as complex as other maps in the game. Yes, they're not as crazy. Yes, you're going to learn them very quickly, but they work well, they flow well, and they don't lead to random gunfights. Most gunfights you're going to get into in these lobbies are head-to-head, and if they're not head-to-head, they're pretty predictable that someone's going to come from behind. So you're not going to be getting shot in the back all the time. You're going to be getting in much fair gunfights, and that's, in my opinion, the way I enjoy playing Call of Duty. This map in particular has a decent amount of flanking routes, actually, which is pretty surprising because, you know, it's at its core level, it's 3-laned, and there's only you can only see a couple of noticeable flank routes, but there's some hidden ones that people don't really notice right away. You kind of have to jump off of ledges and such to get to different angles and get to different places, and I kind of like how they have that done on the map. There is this kind of elevation on this map where the one side of it is much lower than the other side, so it leads to some interesting gunfights where people can come from above, jump down, shoot you from below, or whatever it may be. I do find that to be kind of fun. The map is very long, but it's not wide, which is kind of interesting. It's very rectangular, but like a skinny rectangle where it just kind of goes on for a while, but you can get to the other two parts of the map, like in the other side, really quickly. You know what I mean? You can get from the left lane to the right lane within seconds, but from getting to the back of the map to the other end of the map, that'll take you, you know, a minute or two, not a minute or two, maybe like 45 seconds, but still, it'll take you much longer than it would to just get to the left lane to the right lane. So that's how you know it's not a very wide map, but it's definitely a very long map, which I kind of like. You know, I like keeping the maps different as they go along. I don't want every map to play the same. Just because they're 3-lane does not mean it's going to be the same as another 3-lane map. I don't understand that ideology a lot of people have where they think that 3-lane automatically means it's going to be the same as every other 3-lane map. No, this is nothing like a map like Raid. You look at Raid, they're both 3-lane, yes, but they play nothing alike. They're very, very different in every way, shape, and form. Obviously for, you know, different layout reasons, and they have different flank routes, and all that is very different. Now when it comes to the visuals, I think it's a beautiful looking map. The snow is really good looking. Again, I think Treyarch knocked it out of the park with a lot of the visuals in Cold War. I'm playing on Series X. I don't really know if the graphics are still a little rough on last gen, because I'll be honest, I didn't love the graphics on last gen. When I played Cold War on Xbox One, I thought it looked kind of meh. But ever since I got the Series X, I have had absolutely zero issues with the graphics in this game. I think they are great. I don't know if I would say better than Modern Warfare, but they are great in their own way, and this map definitely looks solid as well. Now let's talk about Diesel. I'm a little disappointed with Diesel because there's no 6v6 playlist available right now. There's only a face-off playlist available for Diesel. So you can only get Diesel 6v6 if you get it in the regular public matches currently. Maybe they'll add it at some point, hopefully, because I really do want to try out 6v6 Diesel without having to play multiple matches on public matches to try to actually find a lobby on the map, because personally I was not able to find a single match. I tried. I'm not going to be sitting here for 3-4 hours trying to find a match on one damn map, so I just said screw it, let's just play the face-off version. I didn't get to experience the map the way I was hoping to, because again, I wanted to play it on 6v6. Face-off is just not my cup of tea. I don't love playing face-off for one reason and one reason only, because you don't get to use your streaks, and there's also just less players in the match in general, and that, to me, that's not as fun when there's less players. I like as many players as possible, unless of course it's gunfight. That would obviously be weird if there was more than 2 players, or 2 players in each team for gunfight. But purely judging it off of the face-off mode and also what I think it might play like in 6v6, I think this map is going to be a really fun map and will possibly be like a consistent 24/7 playlist for the game, just like Nuketown or Crossroads Strike, because it's that small map that's not too small, but it's small enough to the point where people are going to love it for, you know, grinding for camos and just trying to get as many kills in one lobby as possible. And I like how it's very different than the other small maps. It's not the same layout as Nuketown, it's not the same layout as Shipment, it's not the same layout as, you know, any other map we've had of this size, but it's kind of interesting. It's got one lane that's very open, you can definitely snipe there, use long range weapons very effectively, and then the middle is kind of like you got some open lanes, but it's mostly, you know, combined, and then the other lane is very congested, very close quarters, where I'm assuming SMG players would love to go. It's got everything you need for a map, honestly, and it's really small, so I know 6v6 is going to be really hectic on it, and I cannot wait to try that out. Now, that's all for maps, obviously. There's a lot of talk about lack of content in this game as of recently. I don't think having 2 maps for new season updates that bad. Of course, we'll be getting another one for the mid-season update. What I kind of hope for is I want more combined arms maps. Now, I know they take a while to make. There's no way they're going to be able to churn out a brand new large combined arms map that easily, but in my opinion, why can't they just take some of the locations from the Fireteam maps and turn them into combined arms maps? I don't think that would be impossible. It would give us some more to do in there. Like, I'm sure they can take a little section of Ruka, a little section of Alpine, a little section of Galova, and all the other Fireteam maps and make them into combined arms maps. Hell, they can even possibly find a way to make little sections of those maps into 6v6 and gunfight maps, just to give us even more content in the other modes. I think they should definitely do that. I'm glad they used Fireteam for something other than just Fireteam, which was of course in Outbreak, but I think they can utilize it more even just within multiplayer itself. I don't think people would complain as long as that was extra content and not just, you know, taking the place of content. People weren't happy with Miami Strike last season because it was replacing a brand new map. We only got that in, I believe, Apocalypse that entire season, so we were like, what the hell, we're only getting 2 maps? If that was an extra map on top of another map, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Now let's talk about the new guns. We of course have the PPSh as well as the K31 Swiss rifle. There's also a ballistic knife, but I haven't used it and I don't really know what to say about it other than it's a ballistic knife. You know, there's really not much to talk about with a ballistic knife, but the PPSh, or actually how it's supposed to be pronounced, is the PPSh, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced. I think I heard someone say that on Twitter. But yeah, so I'm just going to call it the PPSh so it's so much easier. It rolls off the tongue so much faster. But the PPSh is pretty good. It's not the best gun in the game. Originally, when I was using it, I was thinking it was, but honestly, that's just how we get. You know, it's the honeymoon phase of a new weapon. If you're doing really good with it in your first couple games, you're going to assume the weapon's overpowered. But no, it's really not. The more and more I've been using it, the more and more I've been realizing it's really a well-balanced gun. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's underpowered. I don't think it's even a smidget above too good, and it's not even a smidget below too good. It's like perfectly balanced, like as all things should be, really. I think it's one of the best balanced weapons in the game, I feel like, because every time I use it, I get this feeling of it's not good at this, but it's really good at this. You know what I mean? Like, it's got pros and cons in all sorts of places. The biggest drop back of this weapon is the damage. It's got really low damage. It does not kill very fast. Even up close sometimes, it takes a decent amount of shots to kill. A lot of other weapons can destroy you, but because it has a faster fire rate, it's pushing out those bullets a little bit quicker, so as long as you're keeping those shots on target, you're good. The recoil is very manageable. It's not that bad. It's not like, you know, the easiest recoil to control in the world, but it's definitely more manageable than most weapons in the game, and it's got decent range as well. Because the recoil is not that high, it can kill from a distance pretty effectively. It's just the damage isn't that high, so if you're trying to kill at a range, you're gonna have to kind of tap fire, and it'll take a lot of shots to kill. Hip fire accuracy is really good, as is for most SMGs in this game, so that's a solid thing. The handling is really great, as is for most SMGs as well. So it's just all around a pretty solid SMG, but it's also not like that amazing either, which is why I think I'm glad it has a good solid place within this game. I think it knows its place, and it kind of just does great at that. It does best in those really close quarters engagements where you're just hip firing and just spraying and praying, which is exactly what the PPSh should be. It's also got not a lot of bullets in the magazine, so you definitely want to run that drum mag. Definitely, you want to run a lot of attachments actually, just to kind of make the damage a little bit higher in some places, maybe improve that range or that bullet velocity. That'll definitely help it out a lot. And the K31 Swiss, I'm pretty sure, is the best sniper rifle in the game. I'm not 100% on that because I'm not a big sniper. I don't use snipers that often. I'm not that very good with them. But from what I've used for this gun and what I've seen from other people, it seems to be pretty clear this gun is insanely good. It's even really good in Warzone apparently as well. The only issue is it does not always get one-shot kills, but if you are getting a shot that is either a headshot or above the like chest area, it's likely going to be one shot, and it shoots fast. It is a fast-firing sniper. It's just, you got to hit those shots. You just got to get them clean with a chest or a headshot, and you're good to go. You're good to go. It is really, really solid. I don't have much else to say about it other than that, but I recommend using it for sure if you want to get some good clips with snipers, if you're a big sniper dude. So I'm glad the sniper community can get a solid sniper, because I know a lot of the snipers in this game, people haven't been loving some of the snipers. I personally think the snipers have been pretty good for the most part. I don't think they're overpowered necessarily. I do think maybe they could have reworked them in a way where they give them flinch, but they also maybe make it so they're gonna be a one-shot kill more often, so you're not getting hit markers as often. I don't know. There's a number of things they could have changed up with them, but I think this sniper's pretty good. That's all I really got to say about it. So the last little segment here, we're going to talk about the Battle Pass. There is some other things we could talk about, like the added sticks and stones. There's some new balancing updates, but honestly, I'm sure you guys have heard about those way too much already, and I don't really have much to say about sticks and stones, for example. I played it, it was fun. But let's talk about the Battle Pass, because the Battle Pass this season, probably the best Battle Pass we've had, maybe even ever? I don't know. It's hard to say, because one side of the Battle Pass is incredible, and the other side is terrible. It's such a weird Battle Pass for that reason. Let's talk about it. So when it comes to the character skins, it might be some of the worst character skins we've ever had in the Battle Pass before. They are so boring and bland. Now, Wraith is a pretty cool operator, I gotta say. Her skins aren't too bad, but I'm talking about all the other skins in the Battle Pass. They are so boring. They're really realistic looking operators. I think that's why they're so boring. They're just like, you know, black shirts, blue shirts, normal, Navy type gear. It's not anything fun or exciting like we had in the past 2 seasons. None of it's really that exciting. There's maybe like 1 or 2 skins I can say look kind of cool and interesting. Everything else is just so bland, man. I don't know what's with the character skins this season, but you look at any character skin in the bundle shop and there's going to be a lot better stuff there. But when it comes to the blueprints, however, there are some amazing blueprints this season in the Battle Pass, and that's what pushes it up to being possibly the best Battle Pass we've ever had. I've talked about many times how much I hate Battle Passes and the whole bundle shop that we have in this game, but if we're just going to go over what there actually is within the Battle Pass itself in terms of the quality of the content, yes, the cosmetics here in terms of the blueprints are fantastic. In terms of obviously design and what the developers can do, those are fine. The character skins are fine. They definitely did a great job designing them. It's just they're boring. They're not exciting to be in the Battle Pass. Those seem like skins you have as default skins or something in the game. But these blueprints, however, wow, just take a look at some of these here. Some crazy ones that I would never have expected to see in the Battle Pass. I would have much expected them to be within the bundle shop or something, but we're getting them right here in the Battle Pass, so that's really exciting, and I'm really excited to actually get them eventually. But again, I would much prefer having a system where I can just earn these with credits or something, rather than having to grind a Battle Pass that everyone else grinds the same exact way, so we all get the same exact cosmetic at the same exact tier. I don't find it to be that enjoyable, but again, the quality of these things themselves are pretty solid. And then in terms of the other stuff in the Battle Pass, usually the other stuff is not that exciting. Obviously, you have the weapons there, PPSh and the K31 Swiss, and you also have the music tracks, and you have I think vehicle camos, double XP, charms, calling cards, stuff that I don't really care about all that much, but it's still there. Again, I don't really think I enjoy the Battle Passes usually that much anyways, but this season, really good blueprints, just the skins aren't all that good. But based on all that, I will have to say this might be the best start of a season that we've had so far in Cold War. I'm not sure about Modern Warfare seasons or Black Ops 4 seasons. I want to do a video ranking all the seasons. I think that'd be really interesting. Maybe after Cold War seasons are all done. But in terms of the post-launch or post-season stuff, I guess, that we're going to get, the reloaded content and stuff, we're not going to know exactly whether or not the season's better than Season 1 or 2 until we get to that point. But Season 1 was by far better than Season 2, so I'm expecting Season 3 to be a lot better than 2. 2 was just, I don't know. There wasn't enough to it, honestly. They just had a long period of time where there was just nothing being added. And in terms of the content, it was very slim. I love the guns they added, but that's about it, really. Season 2 was a disappointment. I mean, I thought Apocalypse was a fine map. It's just that was the only map we got other than Miami Strike. And other than that, it was there was nothing else, really. Outbreak was included, but I don't really find Outbreak to be all that fun. I want to make a video on that, actually, because I enjoyed it at launch when it first dropped, but a week or two after Outbreak came out, I just stopped playing it. I had no interest in Outbreak anymore, and every time they add something else to it, I try to go back to it, and I get so bored so fast. I want to make a video on that, but that's just all for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts of the multiplayer content in Season 3 in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.